Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson, World Alternative Media here, and today we are joined by Crowe, the CEO of Silver One Resources, which of course trades in Canada as SVE and in the US as SLVRF. We couldn't have picked a better time to talk about silver and gold, so thank you for joining us today, sir.
Well, thank you, Josh. It's a pleasure to be here.
Excellent. Now, we're going to be going into your company shortly, as there are many opportunities there which our viewers can find more info on at portfoliowealthglobal.com/silver, where they can download a report that will surely help a lot of people understand the current market and make money in it. But first, I want to talk about the craziness of the current market. With a lot of uncertainty across the board, historically gold and silver have stood to be the greatest forms of wealth insurance. While suffering for years under very spoofed markets, if history has anything to say about it, we are about to see a major rally for gold and silver, and we already have been. In the last 60 days, we've seen a huge amount of excitement around gold and silver. Mr. Crowe, with the government in shutdown, the dollar failing, and very disappointing manufacturing numbers, are we entering a new bull market for commodities, and why?
Well, I believe we are. We've seen bull markets in the past. The last big commodities bull market took place after the crash of the tech stocks in 2000, 2001. And that was followed starting in about 2003 and lasting till 2012. A very strong bull market in commodities, including precious metals like silver and gold. Now, it seems to be, in my mind, that the fundamentals are again repeating themselves. The cycle is repeating itself. We're seeing the markets, which had a major upturn after Mr. Trump came into power, and although they had been in the bull territory before that, they really took off when he announced his taxation and deregulation policies. And I think those have run the gambit, and now we're seeing a return. We're seeing very difficult political climate, what with trade wars. We're seeing lack of confidence in fiat currencies. We're seeing the US dollar come down. Now we're seeing the markets starting to fluctuate up and down in very wild swings. And I think all this bodes well or poorly, depending upon which side of the coin you stand on. It bodes well, though, for another swing upwards or a bull market for precious metals.
Yes, and we are seeing what appears to be another peak for the gold-silver ratio, which if studying history, we see a lot of similarities happening there. You've been around the natural resources for 30 years in various capacities. Silver is almost exclusively an industrial metal today, though silver is a unique precious metal since it has both investor demand and many industrial demands. Can you explain what is so unique about its properties that it can both be used as money for thousands of years, but also in thousands of industrial uses?
Sure. Well, it does have very special qualities. I mean, it has an extremely high electrical and thermal conductivity, which gold does as well. But when it trades at 1/80th of the price, silver is the preferred element to be using. Gold specifically is a true precious metal. People hoard it. They put it in their vaults. They put it in their safety deposit box. They put it under their mattress and they bury it in their backyard, or they make ornaments out of it, and etc. But silver is really, in my mind, more of a commodity. It's an industrial mineral. It has a lot of uses. Some of the biggest new uses are, in essence, in the electronics division. You're looking at things like solar panels. You're looking at things like your cell phone, your computer. It's used in all the electrical conductivity with respect to the electrical components in your electric car. So the future is extremely, extremely good for uses of silver to continue. Also, it's still used quite a bit in the photography industry. Up to 10% is still used in the photography industry, despite the move to digital photography. And it's also used quite a bit in jewelry, silverware, and up and coming is the medical industry. With the rise of these superbugs and the lack of new antibiotics to combat them, people are going back, even the hospitals are going back to using silver wraps because it has a very high antibacterial component to it, one of the highest of all the elements. And they use these silver wraps for wounds, burn victims, surgical instruments, gurneys, anything that come in contact with patients that's going to fight bacteria. So the uses are very high. Now, with respect to an investor side of silver, about somewhere between 20 and 30% is still used as bars, coins, people collecting it, etc. And what's interesting is the production, supply, demand. It's been in deficit for probably the last 10 years, but not terribly so. So the supply is kind of not quite, but just about meeting the industrial production side of things. So it's going to be that investor sentiment of 20 to 30% that is really going to cause the upturn in the silver prices when the bull market happens. And I believe we're seeing the first signs of that bull market right now.
Sure, and a lot of people don't realize that, for example, all of the silent films made all those years ago, silver nitrate, it was very useful. There will always be a use for it in the art industry. And while people are concerned about everything kind of going digital, we have to remember all of the equipment and the things that are made with silver in them that are, work in the digital space. It's a very, very bullish commodity, in my opinion, going forward. But you're the CEO of Silver One Resources, a small cap company, really a Canadian $20 million business, but you own 100% of a past producing mine in Nevada where I'm based out of, which could be put into production again. The name of this project is Candelaria. What is the economic potential of it if in production, and can you compare it to other mines and what the companies who own the mines are worth compared to with Silver One Resources?
Well, let's just digress just a little bit. And first of all, when Silver One was first formed in 2016, the world looked a little more optimistic with respect to precious metal prices. Silver was trading in the mid-20s and heading north. A new company was formed, Silver One, and we took on 3 silver Mexican projects from a company called First Mining Finance, which is affiliated with First Majestic, and the CEO of First Majestic is Keith Neumeyer. They were backers of Silver One, and we ended up doing a deal with First Mining Finance. We acquired these 3 Mexican silver projects and gave them 6 million shares, making them de facto our largest shareholder. But as time went on, Mr. Trump came into the White House, policies changed, we had a bull market and a strong US dollar, and we saw precious metals decrease in value. But that didn't deter us. We went on and we spoke with some associates at Silver Standard, now SSR Mining, and we entered into an agreement to acquire 100% interest in this Candelaria silver past producing mine in Nevada. The thing about Candelaria is historically it was one of the richest silver producers in the state of Nevada. And it produced up until 1997-98, the latest producer being Kinross Mine, who processed the ore through heap leaching and forming a heap leaching and Crowe recovery circuits. That was very profitable until 97 when silver prices crashed. Well below $5 per ounce silver. I think they went down as low as $2.50 there for a while. They shuttered the mine, sold it to Silver Standard in 2001. Silver Standard did a big drill program, outlined very sizable resources, but they couldn't consider making a go of it because silver prices hadn't started recovering yet. They put it on the shelf and we entered into an agreement 10 years later. So we're looking at, can we, in this environment, start reprocessing the ore that was left in the old heap leach pads. They left, according to the historic resource that Silver Standard put out, they left approximately 48 million ounces sitting on surface at an average grade of 1.3 ounces per ton, or 40 grams per ton. Now, if you want to do a comparison with other producing silver mines in Nevada, there's another one to the north called Rochester, which is run by Crowe Mining, a very sizable, billion plus market cap company. And you're looking at them producing from heap leach operation, and they're actually mining oxide ore and producing silver at an average grade of 15 grams per ton. So can we make 40 grams per ton work? We don't know. We're doing our testing right now. We're doing the metallurgical testing, and in a few months we hopefully will have an answer, and we'll put out some economics to say this is feasible at such and such a silver price, and then we'll choose to move forward or not. But also at Candelaria, there's huge exploration upside. They never did exhaust the upward limit of the sizable resource that they outlined. And if the markets continue, we'll choose to do some drilling and outline hopefully additional resources and look at putting the hard rock back into production as well. Now, going forward, we also just recently acquired, through staking, a very large ground position on a project in eastern Nevada called Cherokee. And we're finding very, very high-grade silver, gold, and copper values traced over about 9 miles along strike. And we're starting just to evaluate that. It's a very promising prospective project.
Well, it's a very promising time in this industry. It's very exciting. And looking at the analysis from portfoliowealthglobal.com/silver, which highlights the exploration potential of your other projects, they note that your team is filled with people who've found incredible success in the mining industry, as well as Mr. Silver himself, as you mentioned, Keith Neumeier, being a shareholder of the company. Is that a big vote of confidence to have the founder of a billion-dollar silver conglomerate as a core shareholder?
Well, of course it is. I think that when you attract people of that caliber into a small little junior company, it has to be a vote of confidence. And despite the we came out very strong in 2016, as I said, in a more positive market for precious metals. And then we suffered along with most of the other junior resource precious metal companies with a major downturn on our share price. But that did not trigger a sell-off of any of these of those particular investors' interest in the company. Matter of fact, they've taken a larger interest in the company recently, and we're seeing some rewards here in the last few days of trading.
Yeah, that's actually something I wanted to go into a little bit with you. Is one thing that really stood out to me is how cheap Silver One Resources is, and now you've lived through some incredibly opportune times for silver. Studies have shown that companies that have seen a 90% decrease like yours are incredibly probable to see a huge rebound, especially in the silver markets. What are the opportunities for people with such an incredibly cheap valuation?
Well, I think one thing that you have to look at is many junior resource companies do suffer a downturn in the price, and there is a number that don't recover. But if you do due diligence and you look at a company such as Silver One, and you look behind the scenes and you see what the value of the assets are, and you look at who the shareholders are, who the management are, all these things that you mentioned, then you might have a vote of confidence that yes, indeed, this company can recover. In particular, what's interesting is despite the downturn in our share price, despite the downturn in precious metal prices over the last year and a half to 2 years, we continued to grow the assets in the company. We did deals, we've acquired good ground, and now we're starting to see real interest from our existing investors, new investors, and also some major companies are starting to look at us as well. So it's a very interesting time for us.
Yeah, it's a very interesting time for all of us. We've seen the fluctuation of gold and silver for many centuries. It's always acted as great wealth insurance, and it always has investment potential. and in a time when we've seen it in kind of a bearish market, especially since 2012, it makes us really excited to see, you know, this kind of pickup of the market after all this time. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there's been an incredibly bullish period of time over the last 60 days, especially, where we've seen gold and silver rise enormously compared to what we've been looking at, I think, since 2016, most notably. So I really appreciate you joining us today. Can you tell our viewers where they can go to find more information on Silver One, and why, the big pitch, why they should get involved?
Well, first of all, if you want to get some more information, you can go to our website, www.silverone.com, all one word, all lowercase. And then, of course, you can contact us through the office. The information is on the website. We do have a corporate presentation on the website, and a lot of information on, much more detailed information on the technical aspects of our project, you know, our shareholder base, etc. And that is the best place to go. With respect to, you know, why Silver One? Well, first of all, as I said, I think we're in the beginning of a bull market. I think a lot of people should be looking at hedging their bet, protecting their net worth, and perhaps putting a percentage of their savings into precious metals, be it gold, be it silver. If you want to have, and you do have some risk money, and you can afford to do it, then by all means, investing in a good junior company may be an even better potential upside than actually holding the precious silver or gold metal itself. And in times of an up market, what's interesting, you mentioned the gold-silver ratio. As that corrects itself, as it often does when it gets to these heights, then what you see is in the beginnings of a bull market, silver actually outperforming gold on a percentage basis. So if you do have a tolerance for risk, then getting into a good quality junior company is a good way to, so we say, hedge your bets.
Mm-hmm. Silver is incredibly undervalued right now, and it's something that a lot of our viewers have been really excited about. They keep asking us about silver because, of course, it's something that most people are looking at, especially like you mentioned with the silver-gold ratio. There's some great potential going forward, and of course, it's like the combination of protecting your purchasing power against potential huge losses in the US dollar, and then at the same time, when you got a little bit of risk opportunity there and you want to put some money into a company and potentially make some dividends off that, there's another great side to this market. As we see a potential huge upturn in the near future, it could make a lot of difference. So make sure, as I said, everyone, to check out portfoliowealthglobal.com/silver to download their report and get involved in these opportunities, as well as always do your own due diligence. But you know, there's no doubt we live in a time of great opportunity. We just have to know where to look for it. And I really appreciate you joining us today, sir, and we hope to be joined by you again.
Well, thank you very much, Josh, and it was a pleasure speaking with you.
Like what you see here, OM? Don't forget to check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated, especially as we are so vastly demonetized and censored on YouTube, as these guys come in and flag all of our content as hate speech. Also, check out our Bitcoin address below, as well as on the screen for you to scan if you please. And also check us out at steemit.com. We're at Josh Sigurdson. It's a future of social media where you get paid in the upvote of your post in cryptocurrency, Steem that is. So make sure to check us out there. Make sure to join us at Anarchapulco 2019 with people like Ron Paul, G. Edward Griffin, of course, Jeff Berwick, Vid Jedlicka. So many incredible speakers are going to be speaking. It's just a massively growing event. It is something you have to see to believe. So make sure to check it out below and save money on your tickets by using promo code WAM, that's WAM, and I hope to see you there. Also, check out our newsletter. As we are getting demonetized and censored and all that, we don't know what comes next, so we have an email, worldalternativemedia@gmail.com. Send us an email with subject line YES, YES, and we will include you in the newsletter where we will continuously keep you updated. So until next time, thanks for watching, everyone. This is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.
I'm sure you have already changed people's minds in your young age because you're involved, and I like that.